Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we are going to be getting into our newest 8-unit complex that turns my portfolio into now 30 rentals. When it all comes down to it, we actually paid $350,000 for these 8 units, and the return is absolutely massive. Can't wait to get into it, so let's get started. So this property is actually built in 1976. It is an amazing property with a ton of potential. When it comes down to it, we just picked up these 8 units and we have 3.3 acres to build even more. So as you see, we might put some apartments right here in the center. We definitely have a ton of room for value add, which just means we're gonna come in, dress up the property, refix the roads, pressure wash a little bit, adjust a few things to make this property worth a lot more than what we paid for it. So we're in the property with probably the most potential of the entire complex. Speaking of potential, you're gonna wanna see all of our updates and all of the videos coming from this property and ones like it. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, smash the like button and hit that notification bell to alert you every single time that we upload a video. So guys, I mentioned potential, and this is our 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and as you can see, it still has the paneling and it hasn't been redone, but this complex is about 60-40. We have 60% redone, 40% not. So the good news is the 2 that we have that are actually vacant when we bought this property, one isn't done and the other is. Kayla made me promise that I would try to rent this complex without doing a whole lot to it because we got such a great deal. She wants me to maximize those profits. So if you think we should remodel it or you think we should rent it as is, please comment if you are Team Kayla or Team Grant. Team Grant is make it pretty and make it nice. Team Kayla is maximize those dollars. So comment below and let me know what you're thinking. So we just bought this property just 2 days ago, so we have a ton of stuff we're gonna be doing, and we're gonna make a follow-up video into this, getting these rent ready real time, and to show you kind of how that process goes, and we have a lot of work to do. So the first thing we're starting with, handyman, getting things going, and we got a ton of stuff for you. But in this video, I'd rather focus on the numbers, so let's get into that. So this property was actually listed for $420,000. I actually know the owner of this property, and you might recognize him from my previous video, the $7 million sale of his $25 million portfolio, and I'll link that video in the description below. But what ended up happening is after one phone call with my friend, he dropped the price to $350,000 as long as I covered realtor fees. This deal is absolutely fantastic because we are getting 8 units for just $350,000. And the return on this, as I said earlier, is going to be massive. And we're gonna cover all of that just a little later in the video. But before we get into that, as you know, I'm a bit of a nerd if you couldn't tell by the Pokemon shirt. So we're gonna do something a little new. We're gonna go check out that 3-bedroom that has been remodeled. And so let me see if I can find where it is. So here we are back at the other side of the property, and got some work to do here too, but this one's a little bit more my speed. So this property I expect to bring around $1,200 a month. We might shoot for a little higher, but once again, that great bargain for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at $1,200, you just can't beat it. And as I said before, the crown jewel, the hardest working person for Navarre Ventures, me included, she is definitely the hardest working person of Navarre Ventures, my beautiful fiance, Miss Kayla Vazina. And like I told you, we have a ton of work coming out this weekend, and you gotta realize, this is the property management team you're seeing right here. We have a few handymen, but other than that, it's just me and Kayla scrubbing floors and getting these things rented. So now, while we run a little bit of footage of the property, let's get into the numbers. As I said earlier, this property actually ended up costing $350,000, and I did have to cover real estate fees, but as many of you know, Kayla is my real estate agent as well as partner in crime when it comes to these properties, and she keeps 50% of all that we ended up spending on it. We're actually gonna do a video on how much Kayla made in a future video, so definitely stay tuned to that because it's been a really impressive thing. So we ended up putting down $100,000 on the property, which brings us to $250,000 financed plus closing costs. We ended up getting a 20-year commercial loan at 4.25%. and that ends up coming out to $1,548.09 per month. Now keep in mind, anytime you go 4 units or more, which is this case, you're gonna have to go commercial versus secondary market or conventional loans. Our insurance quote ended up being only $750 a month, and we're in a flood zone. So $750 a month on all units is absolutely crazy, especially when you factor in flood. How we got there was we also had to agree in 30 to 45 days to add new roofs to these back 2 buildings that we're currently at, and it's going to bring that quote to a very affordable rate and allow us to be able to make sure we maximize our profit. So next up on expenses is the utility bill. Luckily, the utilities are not super expensive. They come in right around $800 a month for electric and water. But sadly, on this project, we actually do have to include them for now. Until people's leases come renewed, we're gonna start phasing that out, because if you've heard me in previous videos, you know I cannot stand paying for utilities. Something that we started doing, but I won't include in the total number, is we do charge a 10% management fee that comes back directly to Navarre Ventures Property Management, and that's just me and Kayla's slush fund, but the 100% goes back to us, so I'm not going to dock it from the actual numbers itself. Next up, we have the taxes on the property at $150 a month, lawn another $150, and we definitely always do pest control, which is another $100 over all 8 properties. That brings our total expenses to $3,050 per month. So now let's get into the cap rate and then the cash on cash return. When you take our gross rents after everything is rented out, cleaned up, and ready to go of $7,250, and you subtract the total cost, you're gonna get our net operating income of $4,200. When you multiply that by 12 for the 12 months of the year, you're gonna come out to $50,400 of net operating income per year. To get our cap rate, you're just gonna now divide that number by the sales price of $350,000, and you're gonna get a cap rate of 14.4%, which is an amazing cap rate on any project. On a typical property that I would look for, a 7% cap rate is relatively good. So now we are actually double that. So that's gonna be it for the video, guys. If you enjoy videos like this, please power up that like button, as well as hit that subscribe button, and comment anything you'd like to see out of future videos and anything you liked out of this video. I'll see you on the next one, and have a fantastic afternoon.